Democracy's rise begins not in the modern era, but in the dusty assemblies of ancient Athens around the 5th century BCE. The Athenian experiment was radical for its time. Ordinary male citizens, excluding women, slaves, and foreigners, gathered to vote directly on laws and policies. This form of direct democracy was limited and exclusionary, but it planted the philosophical seeds of popular sovereignty, civic participation, and the idea that legitimacy stems from the governed. Thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle debated its merits and flaws, laying the intellectual groundwork that would echo through centuries. Meanwhile, the Roman Republic introduced representative elements, senates, consuls, and checks and power, that would later inspire modern constitutional frameworks. After the fall of Rome, Europe entered a long period dominated by feudalism and monarchy. Power was concentrated in the hands of kings, nobles, and religious authorities. The divine right of kings and rigid class structures left little room for democratic ideals. Yet even in this era, flickers of resistance emerged. The Magna Carta of 1215, forced upon King John of England by rebellious barons, asserted that even monarchs were subject to law. It wasn't democracy, but it was a crucial step toward limiting arbitrary power. In city-states like Venice and Florence, merchant elites experimented with republican governance, showing that alternatives to monarchy could function and flourish. The Enlightenment of the 17th and 18th centuries reignited democratic thought with unprecedented force. Philosophers like John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Montesquieu championed natural rights, social contracts, and the separation of powers. These ideas found explosive expression in the American Revolution, 1776, and the French Revolution, 1789, where citizens rose against tyranny and declared that governments must derive their power from the consent of the governed. The U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of the Rights of Man became blueprints for democratic governance. Though imperfect and exclusionary at first, these revolutions marked a decisive shift. Democracy was no longer a philosophical ideal. It was a political reality. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, democracy spread across continents, often through struggle and sacrifice. The abolition of slavery, the expansion of suffrage to women, and the civil rights movements were all battles to make democracy more inclusive. In Europe, parliamentary systems evolved, balancing monarchic traditions with elected legislatures. After World War II, the defeat of fascism and the founding of the United Nations ushered in a new era of democratic optimism. Former colonies in Africa, Asia, and Latin America gained independence and began crafting their own democratic institutions, though many faced setbacks from coups, corruption, and foreign interference. In recent decades, democracy has faced serious challenges: rising authoritarianism, disinformation, polarization, and declining trust in institutions. Yet it has also shown remarkable resilience. Grassroots movements, digital activism, and youth-led protests have reinvigorated civic engagement. Countries like Tunisia and Ukraine have demonstrated that democratic aspirations can survive even in the face of repression. Innovations like deliberative democracy, participatory budgeting, and citizen assemblies are reimagining how people can shape their societies. Democracy's rise is not a straight line. It's a story of setbacks, reinvention, and enduring hope.